for me, I knew I was going to go into it and go off script.
Yeah.
So, and I'm thinking about all this, and I'm like, I have the courage to do this. I'm going to do it. Because at this point, the incident had occurred with George Floyd. Nothing much had been said. So I'm pulling from within to say, hey, I'm going to say something. I feel a duty and an obligation to say something. So I had prepared myself in that manner. And going into the meeting, I had not all of the team on the line, but most, to where I knew I had enough ears to where I can touch some spirits and get into enough ears to where word would spread. And I just introduced it. I said, hey guys, I'm going to go off script. I'm going to pivot here. There's something really heavy going on outside of work and inside of me. And I want you all to know that I'm engaged, I'm connected, no matter what race you are, no matter your political affiliation, no matter what religion you are, no matter if you're gay, lesbian, none of that matters. I just want to connect with everybody on a human possible level.
Yeah.
And I tell them we're so disconnected right now. So, and then even speaking on COVID, it's amazing how God works. COVID is something that it just broke us all apart. But really, it's illuminating a lot of the issues that we have because there's so many people without a job. Thankfully, we're all still blessed with a job, but there's so many more that are able to focus in on this. And ultimately, it has brought us back together, even when we know we should be apart, wearing masks, and we're doing these rallies. So I spoke to them on that point. I was like, it's amazing what's going on. But I just wanted to let them know that I'm engaged. I'm connected as your leader. You can come to me. I don't care what your background is, who you are. I don't care what level you are. You can be the vice president of this organization, or you can be a phone agent taking phone calls, whoever you are. I'm here. I'm engaged. I'm connected. So, and that's how I went into it. And I put my heart out there. I told them that. I gave them the disclaimer, like, hey, I didn't ask for permission. I didn't go to my boss and say, may I do this? I didn't want to be muffled. And I just let it go that way in a very professional manner, considering everyone.
Yeah, I love that, Leno. Amazing. I'm gonna come to you here in a second. As I hear you talk, man, piece of that is courageous leadership. We talked a little bit about that on the episodes previous to this. But as I hear you talk, man, I'm just sitting there. If I was in the room and I worked for you as a black man, and I'm a black man, and you say nothing, I'm thinking about how corny you are to me. Right? I feel like we have, Rick, I think you hit it. I think there's a responsibility that we as African Americans, black males, have in this moment, right? I love what you said, Leno. This is affecting bro, I just left a protest. And I would say 75 to 80% of the people that was there weren't black. Black. You know what I'm saying? And Rick, I know you probably got some examples out west. And so my point is, and Maze, you hit one just yesterday, and I'm probably, I would guess, I don't know, we ain't talked about it yet, but it's a lot more other people showing up that aren't black and brown. So it's showing that it's penetrating and impacting a lot of different types of nationalities, genders, and creeds during this whole time, right? Maze, I come to you, man. Go ahead and you hop in here. So give me a little, respond to what I just said, and then if you want to talk about when you had to show up to work the next Monday.
Yeah, so from the protest piece, it was a diverse crowd. Fortunately or unfortunately, depends on your view. I would say it was probably like 60% black, and Jared was there too. So I don't want to misspeak here, but it was mostly black. But I don't think it was mostly black because other people didn't want to show up. I think the organization that had arranged it had reached out to mostly black people, and then it did the social media thing, and numbers just grew. I felt like it was a very well run protest. We had an opportunity to show up, show out, and state our case and lay out some initiatives from a much broader perspective. Not even just talking about like the police brutality issue, but also like supporting black business and how these two organizations that put on the protest plan to support black business and help us support black business and provide us information on how we can go about supporting black business perspective. I feel like I showed up knowing I had to say something. First of all, I'm a black man. Second of all, I lead a team of people, and then my people have to actually go out and lead a team of people. So I was trying to look at it from the perspective of how do I prepare these people who are not black to have these conversations? And then how do they go out and have these conversations and feel somewhat comfortable talking to people who may be black or not be who are not black. And so first thing I said on my team call was, guys, I understand we have a call that we're supposed to be having right now. I want you to know we're not gonna look beyond what's happening in the world. I want you to know this is a safe place, that you can talk to me. I get it. You have a black leader. So I don't know if you know what to come to me and say. And I want you to know there's no script for this. No one's going to give us any handouts right now to say, okay, when talking to the black guy at work, or when talking to your employees who may be uncomfortable, that doesn't exist. But the worst thing we could do is not acknowledge what is going on. I want you to know that you can come to me, ask questions, we can have dialogue, and I want to be the first to tell you I do not have all the answers, but I will have the conversation. And I want you to know that you matter. I hear you, I feel you, I see you. We in this together.
Yeah.
And then from an organizational perspective, even dealing with like my peer group, I made the conscious decision that I was going to be quiet, because I didn't want them to feel that this was a problem that black people need to fix. This is not a problem that black people need to fix. This is a problem that I view it as people who aren't black. This is your problem. That y'all are the ones who are oppressing a race of people. So y'all need to figure out how to fix this. Throughout the week, I had more conversations than I thought I would ever have at work about this, and people of all races were reaching out, letting me know like, hey, I'm super uncomfortable with the state of affairs, and I can't believe this is happening. How do I deal with it? Sean, you're a leader at this organization. What are they going to do? And I did finally reach out to my senior leadership, and I did express to them like, hey, and I outlined 3 reasons why I had been quiet. I didn't know if it was obvious that I hadn't said anything on a larger scale. I had really honed in on those who reached out to me, and then managing my direct reports. But once I did reach out, because I had received so many calls and text messages and emails, and it became clear to me that these people are expecting me to do something with this information. And I felt like as a black man and as a leader within the organization, it's up to me to actually say something. But I did let them know why I felt so strongly about being quiet for a couple of days. And I don't want to misconstrue being quiet by me not saying anything at all. It was, I didn't want to make a statement organizationally or department wide. And my 3 things, and I pulled it up here because I didn't want to miss anything, but is I don't want to push anything on anyone if it's not in their heart to receive it and act upon it. I do not want to come across as I'm the voice of black people, or even the voice of the black people in our department or within this company. And then lastly, I don't know that there's coverage at the highest levels. So if there's some blowback, who's going to protect me?